Welcome back, YouTube, to episode 5 of Orion Homestead Project Skoolie Edition. We've got a lot going on in this episode. We got the bathroom framed out, shower installed, shower pan in place. We got the water tanks installed, got the propane infrastructure set up so that it can go in, plus a whole lot more. So come join me along for a little tour and show you how I did it, and let's get to it. Well, welcome back, YouTube. Happy Groundhog's Day. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been on camera, and there's been a lot of circumstances that caused that. Last weekend, I got busy and was working on trying to get some stuff done and get everything planned and prepped so I could go on video. Got so wrapped up in it, I just kept going and forgot to turn the camera on. This weekend, I had some company. And yesterday I was doing a lot of stuff that you've already seen me do, so I didn't see any reason to bore you with that again. But there's been a lot going on in the last 2 weeks. You will not believe the progress that's been made over the last 2 weekends. Haven't really been able to do much during the week. I do want to tell you that we made it through the polar vortex. It was miserable. In true fashion, tracking the record lows in the bus. So the previous record low was 10 degrees. The next record low was 5.7 degrees. And now the new record low in the bus is 0.3 degrees. Now I know for a fact it has never been that cold here. So I'm thinking that this big tin box is amplifying the cold and making it a lot colder inside than it really is. I think at this point I might reset the thermostat and track it again and see where we get to. But right now the new record low is 0.3 degrees inside of here. That's frigid. But anyway, so over the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot going on. I've got a lot of stuff accomplished. You can't see it in the background right here because the way the camera is, it's showing stuff that's always been undone. But I think what I'm going to do at this point is reposition everything and then take you for a walkthrough on everything that I managed to get done over the past 2 weeks and show you where we're at and then where we're going to be going. I will be right back when I get everything set up. All right. So if you remember last episode or a couple episodes ago, we had our insulation extravaganza where we tried to carry the insulation from the back of the bus forward. We got about halfway through. Well, at this point, I can tell you that I spent a lot of time. And we've got all the insulation going all the way forward, save the last two channel rails up there. And the reason they're not done is I've got to do some wiring work to make that possible. But it is also true on both sides of the bus. So from the back all the way up to there, we've got all the insulation in. This particular part of the wall I still need to do. I didn't get a chance to do it. I was going to do it today. But I decided to bring out the camera and do a rundown of what we've got done so far instead of doing that. I'll be able to get that done during the week and get all of that stuff in place. One of the other things that I wanted to show you is if I move around over here, I've got plywood all the way up to the front. All of this insulation in the wall is all done. All my plywood is all the way up to the front, just behind the driver's seat over there. Again, I've got some wiring work that I need to take care of before I go closing that in. And that's, you can see the insulation in the ceiling. So from the back all the way to the front, all the insulation is in the ceiling except for up there at those two spots. The next thing I want to show you is I actually built a cabinet. And this cabinet is, it's not final. But it is actually the mock-up for the cabinet for my hot water heater, which is down below, and you can see. And then above that top shelf there, that's where the stove is going to sit. So I did this because one of the things that I want to do is be able to bring my propane in from underneath. I don't think that I'm going to be able to go through the top of the storage tank like I had, or the storage cabinet under there like I'd originally planned. So I'm going to have to figure out another way because of the dimensions and stuff. But I wanted to get that in so I could see, and then I'll probably put it so that I can secure it to the wall on the side of the cabinet, and then have it go down through the floor and then connect up into the propane tanks. I got plenty of room on that, so shouldn't be an issue. So one of the next things that I was able to do is, if you can see over here, this cabinet right here with all my junk on top of it, if you look really closely in there, that's my water tank storage. That's where the water tank is going to go. I've got it installed there. None of this is screwed down or anything. It's just in place. I just mocked it up. I'll go through the details on how I'm doing all of that, but I've got insulation on the back, I've got insulation on the bottom, and I've got insulation across the top of the tank as well. The outside is not, because it'll be environmentally controlled here. And then obviously, as I've shown you before, I've got my channel goes there for the plumbing, and then it comes up, and on the other side I've got my other water tank installed as well. Same thing. One of the unique features about this that I want to show you is I actually added this passageway through here, and this passageway is actually going to allow me to run the drains over the wheel well from the front to the back. So the kitchen sink will go to the back, tie into the vanity that'll be right behind the water tank, and then that will go into the gray water tank down there. So I'll have a shower on one side with a water tank, the sink and the vanity on the other side with a water tank, and I'll do a balance too between them to keep them level and stuff. But I just wanted to show you that. You can't see it right now because there's not a lot of light, but I did that, and I'll do a detailed video on pulling all this together, because I have run into some problems with the water tanks. They're actually expanded and bowed out, so I'm gonna have to do something to compress them. And now, coming back a little bit further, I want to walk back here a little bit. Hopefully I don't blind you, but as you can see, I've got plywood on this wall all the way back to the back of the bus as well. I've got plywood on this wall all the way back to the same spot, and lo and behold, the other thing that I got my shower built. It's all framed in. Don't have any ceramic tile in it. Shower pan is installed. Holes drilled through the floor for the drain. Point that I want to make, I learned the hard way. They have an advertised diameter for the drain. Well, that does not account for the nut on the bottom that tightens it up. So I drilled the hole, couldn't get the shower pan to sit down, and had to go in and trim out the subfloor so that the nut would go down so it would sit down on the floor. So keep that in mind if you're doing this. But anyway, so I've got it framed up. It comes up to the top. I've got it stopped right there for a specific reason, because I want to more or less custom do all of those, the top part there, make sure I get it right, and it's easier to work with a much shorter board than it is a longer board. So I've got that on this side. And then if I bring it over here, same thing on the other side. This right here that you can see is a major mistake on my part. I was planning on trying to figure out a way to do a glass sliding door in my shower, and everything was supposed to work just fine except the measurements that I made when I bought it. I forgot about one thing: the 3 inches from the subfloor to the top of the shower pan. So now, if you look up there, they don't fit anymore. So I'm still trying to figure that out, trying to engineer something, trying to get that so that it'll work the way that I want it to. I'm not going to have a sliding door, that's for sure, but I'll figure out something. I definitely want to use at least one of the panels, and I've got the wall squared up to it and stuff. What I might do is just make this a fixed panel in the shower, and then just use a shower curtain for the other part. I don't know. I'll figure that out. This area back here going up to the back door. This is the bedroom. I haven't started on that yet. The other thing I'll show you, if you look right here, you'll see the marks in the floor. Got one coming off the wall there and coming out, and then they got one going back and up to there. So this is actually the other part of the bathroom area. We'll have a vanity on the wall there, and then when the wall gets built over here at that line, this will be where the composting toilet is. And so I'll have a fairly nice sized bathroom back here. I wanted that. I don't like all the cramped up bathroom spaces and stuff that I see in a lot of buses. I wanted some room. I wanted to make it nice. So I did that. Going through the cabinets for the water tanks, you can see right here. I've got the tank there. I got the foam there. Like I said, I'm going to have to square this up. I'm going to be using pocket holes. If you can see, I've got some holes marked in the back. That's where I'm going to put the pocket holes. But I need to make sure that I've got this stuff lined up and squared up and in place, and it compresses that tank. The whole point to the boxes is for that very reason. Same thing on this side. If you notice, see how far out the plywood is from the edge of the plywood there? That's because the outside of that tank is bowed out that far. So I'm going to have to compress that tank. I took the stops off of the filler tubes on those tanks and let it get air in there. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing. Hard to see it, but if you look, I've got the strapping all the way up to the front. Yours truly made a very serious mistake. And if you notice, there's no strapping on the wall here. Well, that's because I measured once and cut once and cut the board 4 times, and it was still too short. And so I wound up running out of plywood for strapping, so I'm going to go get another sheet and rip down some more so that I can finish the strapping up to the door there. And it'll cover these last 2 panels that I've got right here. And then I've got everything set, stage cut for this. It's kind of hard to see because of the light, but this is right behind the driver's seat. I've got a lot of wiring work to do there. As you can see, it's a mess. I had it all tied up and all of that stuff, and I ran into a problem and I had to undo it. So that's why it looks like that. I'll get it all back in shape. But anyway, my goal right now is to get everything forward of the channel here cleaned up, get all the insulation off the floor and installed and stuff, so I can get all of the stuff off the floor up here, and then be able to come in and put the coat of paint on the floor up here just like I did in the back. I want to get everything out of the bus when I do that, so that I can actually do like I said and go from the front all the way to the back door, and that'll give me a second coat on the back as well. And I want that because that's where all the water is going to be for the shower and stuff like that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, even though I haven't been on camera. I'm going to try to do a few things during the week, during my lunch. Get a little bit more content to the video, and I'll have this out before the end of the week, and then next weekend we'll start another round. Like I said, happy Groundhog's Day, everybody, and we'll be back. Welcome back, YouTube. It is Super Bowl Sunday. All the plans that I had for last week, well, that didn't work out very well, so I didn't get to do anything on camera. Got a lot of stuff done, but it was all in short bursts here and there. All the lunchtime activities that I had planned, I wasn't able to do because of work and the weather. But I did get quite a bit done, so what I want to do is try to walk you through some of the stuff that I did, show you how I did it, and try to wrap this video up and get it out so that we can start on something new. We got quite a bit done, so let's take a tour. Alright, so the first thing that I want to show you is that I did get the first hole drilled through the floor for the diesel heater. I'm going to tell you very clearly that was a pain. I wasn't very happy because the arbor that I bought for the 5-inch hole saw, as soon as I put it in, it bent the arbor bit, so I had to go get one of my high-speed 1/4-inch bits out of my DeWalt drill sets and put that in, and then I was able to do it. It was not easy, but managed to get it all the way through and all the way done. Need to clean up the hole a little bit so I can get everything in there, but I want to show you how this is going to look. So this is going to sit down inside of there, and I've got a flange that's going to go through the hole as well. And then the diesel heater you see right there, I'm going to set the camera down and put this in place and show you how that's going to look. So grab the heater, turn it over upside down like this, line up the hole, and boom, there it is. So it'll sit right there like that. I'll run power to it. I've got to figure out the heater outputs. Is not exactly what I expected. I was expecting a single outlet, and I've got 4 small ones, so I'm going to have to do something with that. This side is basically the fresh air intake. Here's a wiring harness for it. And then the air intake for the heater, the fuel intake, and the exhaust will go out through the bottom. I'm going to tap the tank. So I'll be tapping the tank over there where the access door is, run the fuel line over to here, bringing the fuel up into the diesel heater from there. So that's one of the first things that I was able to do. Not necessarily the first in order, but one of the first things that I'm telling you about here. So let's move over to the next part of it. Let's talk about some propane. All right, here we are. Got propane infrastructure in place. I've got it blocked up right now just for spacing and sizing and stuff. It's not permanent. Just doing some fitting. That's the connection that'll go to the stove at the top there. Comes down through, connects up to the top there. And then as you can see, if I can get this stuff out of the way, you can see right there that it goes through the hole. And I was lucky enough to actually get this thing to go inside the underbody storage where the propane tanks are, as opposed to the outside. So that was a benefit. Once I get it all finalized, I'll get everything tightened down, test it up, make sure that everything works, no leaks, all of those kind of things. Got this connected over to the hot water heater. Everything is all loose, nothing's final, nothing's tight. I may wind up getting a longer pipe that goes through the floor. It's kind of close, and I want to make sure that I have plenty of room, so I'll figure that out at some point. But I'm probably going to get, that's a 12-inch, and I think I'm probably going to get like a 16, so that I have plenty of room to move this up and down and make sure that I've got everything that'll connect correctly. But that was the next thing I did. Drilling the hole through the floor was problematic. I bought some carbide bits off of Amazon, and they work really great. The only problem is that they have a lip at the top of the bit, so it limits their ability to go through. So once I got through the Vantech subflooring, wouldn't go any further. Fought it for like 2 hours, went to the hardware store, got another hole saw for the size that I needed, got through the floor from the top side, and then there's a gap between the floor and the underbody storage. So I had to go underneath and drill up from the underbody storage. I had my pilot hole there. As soon as I put that thing in and it got through the pilot hole for that arbor bit and that hole saw snapped. So once again, had to go and use one of my high-speed steel bits and put it in there. Got it through though. Took me about 2 hours to get that hole through the floor, fighting all the different tools and stuff, but I got her done. So that pretty much wraps up the inside. So take a walk with me and let's go to the outside, and I'll show you what it looks like out there. All right, so here we are at the underbody storage. Open this up, and you can see right up here is where it comes through the floor. You can see how close that is. I don't quite like that. I'm also going to have to do something to secure that so it's not hitting the storage like that. It's kind of in a bind, and that's one of the reasons why I think I want to get a larger pipe so I have more room to manipulate it and center it up. This is going to connect right here. I'm going to have to undo this off of here so that I can get this in here and tightened up, but there's the split. and the hose comes down, comes around and comes up. So the flow is this way from the tanks and into, I have a little 15-gallon tank that I'll use to actually run through and do the leak testing and stuff like that. And then once I get all of that squared away and I'm happy with that, then I'll work on getting these tanks filled up. I'm not in a hurry to do that. So at this point, let's go back inside and show you some of the other stuff that I've been able to get done. All right, one of the next things that I was able to do one evening, didn't take me very long, but I was able to get the other side of the bathroom framed up where the vanity and the composting toilet is going to go. Kind of small. I'm a little concerned about being able to get everything in there, but this is where the vanity will go, right here. And I'll eventually finish out the top side of the walls. It's just easier to do it this way. And then I planned on putting the composting toilet over here. Gonna be kind of a tight fit, but I'll figure it out and get it in there. But I was able to get it all framed out. One of the things that I did do is make sure that this wall was in plane with this wall for the shower over here, because these two walls are going to form the front edge of the platform for the bedroom back here. So that is what I've got going on here. Got it brought up to the top here, put in the dead wood and stuff to try to secure it down. It is tight, it is solid, so we'll see how that works. The ceiling I'm still trying to figure out. One of the other things that I was able to do as well is figure out and kind of set up all the dead wood up here and stuff, and able to frame in around my max air fan back here, which is cool. I do need to cut this off at this line and this line to open up the max air fan, but it's all framed in so I can get the ceiling in and get the trim piece that goes around it on there. So got that done as well. That made me happy. Moving over towards the front of the bus, one of the things that we had talked about in the last time I was on camera was the fact that the water tanks had bowed out somewhat. So this is the solution that I came up with to get these things compressed and in place and screwed down. As you can see, I drilled some pocket holes, and once I got everything compressed and in place, was able to screw it down. I use these are handy little tools right here. I used 4 of them, got everything locked in place. On the back side of here, screws go straight down. If you remember, I have that channel with the 2x4 so I can run my drain pipe down back there. So this one is screwed straight down into that. The front edge here is screwed straight down in as well. And then I've got a pocket hole, excuse all the mess, but I've got a pocket hole that pulls it up to the wall as well. So if we come around front and look, you can see that we have a nice, tight, secure fitting all the way around. Everything is compressed, everything is in place, everything is straight and square. So I don't have to worry about these things bulging and popping and anything like that. And it is solid. One of the things that I was concerned about was, you know, brakes and stuff with these things moving. The thing ain't moving nowhere. But I'm going to secure it so that it can't come out. On this side, same thing. Insulation on the bottom sides. Everything is tight, square. Those things are all in place and really nice. So that was one of the other things that I got done. Going back and going through some of the other stuff, so I was able to carry my plywood up a little bit further. Unfortunately, I ran out of strapping, if you remember from the last conversation. And that's as far as I was able to go, but that's going to give me enough to be able to plan out and finish up my kitchen part. I need to get some more wood to do strapping. Everything is glued in place up to this mess that you see on the wall here. Here's truly wasn't paying attention and put the glue on the wrong side. And the reason was because of that wire that's coming through there. And I had to glue it. It's not going to matter because it's going to be on the back side of everything. This is holding it in place because this piece is glued in on the other side of it as well. So everything is glued all the way up on these. Everything is glued in all the way to the front. This one is not glued in. And then I've got this mess over here that I've got to sort out and clean up and reconfigure so that I can get that piece in and close that up as well. I'm going to have to redo a lot of the wiring because I was originally, if you remember one of the earlier videos, was planning on putting all my power distribution equipment right up here behind the driver's seat. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to have enough room for that, and it's just not going to work the way that I wanted it to. So I'm going to move it back to the back, and I'm going to use the area above the wheel wells, above the water tanks and stuff, to do my electrical distribution, battery storage, all of that stuff. The only wire that I'll have to run to the front is the overall system ground, because it's grounded up here pretty much underneath where that vacuum cleaner is. And then I'll have to run my power cable for the DC to DC charging from the batteries back, and that'll be the only two cables that I have to run from front to back. Everything else will be centrally located to the bus, and that's a good thing in and of itself, because that more or less cuts the overall length of the wires to run from power distribution to the back of the bus in half, because everything will be centrally located, and then I can run forward and run backwards. So that is that. So finally, the next thing that I want to do is get this subfloor painted, because I want to get this sealed up. I got a Super Bowl party to go to, so I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to take out the propane, get that cabinet out of the way, get this all cleaned up, and get this floor painted today. I haven't made up my mind if I'll time-lapse that or not, but I probably will, just to add some more content to the video and show you how I do it. And I won't be able to work on it for several days because the weather is going to turn into rain and snow and stuff. So I just want to get this done and let it dry and cure. So at that, I will be back in a bit, if nothing else, to show you what it looks like once it's all painted. Well, that's a wrap. Got her all painted, all the way from the back, all the way up to the front. Painted inside the hole where the propane's going, painted inside the hole where the diesel heater's going, and painted inside the hole where the fuel access is. So, got it all the way up to the front, all the way back. Now the whole entire subfloor has at least one coat on it. I hope that at some point I can put a second coat, but maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's a wrap for this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here, and we will be back soon.